Hey everybody, this is Erich Hunter here, and I'm with Rob and Shade, and let me grab my pendulum. We are going to talk about pendulum healing, and a question or something that's come up in the group recently is there are some people who are saying they're just starting off with pendulums, and they're like, I haven't seen any successes yet. Like, I don't think it's working. And then another thing we've heard is that like I sending healing to like really negative people and they don't seem to be changing at all. So we wanted to spend a few minutes to address this idea of that the healing is not working. Because we have, we've been there, we've been through all this, and we actually have some pretty important insights to share around this topic.
Yeah.
So let's see. Well, I'll just start off. Like one thing right away is like if you are really obsessed with getting results, like it's fundamentally the wrong way to go about doing healing, because healing shouldn't be about your ego. It shouldn't be about people saying like you doing a healing and immediately people being like, oh yeah, it was great. You fixed me, blah blah blah. I mean, that's awesome when it happens, and let it happen. That's amazing. Like, it's great because, like, at this point, like, I do often get instant results.
Yeah.
And same with Robin. Like, like we get that all the time. Like, but we're trained. We've been doing this for a while, and we've seen beginners get instant results, like the first time they've ever done it.
Yeah.
Like, so it's definitely possible, but it really depends a lot, and there are many different factors to consider. But if you're like trying to get praise or your ego is really invested in you looking good, then the problem with that is, number one, like the person may have actually benefited tremendously from your healing even though they didn't show any signs of it at first.
Yeah.
And what would happen for me is that, like, when I first started off, I was really invested in having the person tell me what a great job I did. So I would do the healing and I'm like, well, like, what happened? Are you better? And maybe like, no, I still feel really bad. And then I'd be like, oh, I totally failed. My healing sucked, blah, blah, blah. I stink as a healer. This doesn't work. Then like a week later, a month later, or whatever, like I would somehow contact these people, and then they would be telling me, they're like, yeah, my whole life turned around, everything has gotten better now, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes they would relate it to the healing. Other times they wouldn't even remember I did the healing. But then they would tell me the time period that the change happened, and it was like exactly when I did the healing. So it's like people often don't even register.
Yeah. Well, there is a gestation period.
Oh,
From
go
the
ahead.
time
Yeah.
you've been healing, there needs to be things need to happen. You don't go out to your backyard and plant the corn and water it and expect to go out the next day and pick the corn. You're gonna
Right.
water it like you would send healing, but there is that the body needs some time to heal. It's not
Right.
an instant miraculous thing.
Right. Now
Unless
it
you're
does.
looking for that ego-based, you're fabulous, you healed me kind of reaction.
Right. Right. Like, yeah, it don't block the possibility that it could happen right away, but at the same time, just let it be. So yeah, you always assume that if you have been called in to do a healing, that even if you don't see a result, you have affected the situation somehow. And the way, like, this is a little bit more abstract way to think about healings, but like, let's say this is the amount of resistance a person has to being healed, right? And then you come in and do your healing, and you lower that level of resistance. They may not be there yet, but you have lowered the level of resistance, and they are that much closer to healing.
Yeah.
And then you do it again, it lowers the resistance, and then boom, at a certain point, you hit a tipping point, and then bang, the healing happens. Now, in some cases, the level of resistance is already kind of low. It's already heading that direction. You do the healing, and it occurs right away, and you get instant gratification. So don't be discouraged. You may have been needed to shift things, and then something else can happen. Like, I've done a healing where I felt like maybe it didn't work right away, but now at this point I do trust that it's always working. But then other things in the universe aligned so that the right doctor showed up.
Yeah.
The right piece of information came. The right synchronicities started happening. So even though I didn't directly cause the healing that like my ego wanted to have made the change, it created an energetic dynamic where other synchronicities, other things could fall into place, and then the healing occurred at the divine right time.
Right. Are
Through
you
the,
saying like you created the sacred space for that
and
person to allow the healing to happen? So you
partly, and
may not have
also,
directly healed them, but you created that perfect environment for all the synchronicities to happen for that healing to begin.
well, yes, and also I lowered the resistance energy. So like there's people have a certain amount of resistance to healing. Otherwise, you would be healed right away. You know, the body wants to heal, but there's something stopping it. So by doing the pendulum, you can get at, sorry, I'm using my hands a lot. You can get at it. Like, so if this is resistance level, you can lower the resistance level and make it less, lower it and make it less. And then other things can start acting, because before they were getting blocked energetically. So even if your healing doesn't directly do it, then, you know, but the universe can then start acting where it was getting blocked before, because you have made it possible by energetically shifting the whole situation.
Hmm.
Another thing related to that would be the person's karma and their desire to heal. So, for example, like if a person has like a karma around an illness, what you do when you do your pendulum healing, you may be giving that person the opportunity to heal. But then at some level, they have to choose it, either consciously or subconsciously.
Yeah, let it in.
Yeah, so like that person who is really negative, that this person was saying like they're doing a healing on someone who's really negative and it's not working. Well, you every time you do that healing, you're giving them an opportunity karmically to heal that negativity. But they may be benefiting from it at some level. Like maybe they like being in victim, maybe they, you know, maybe it gives them some kind of reward, like they get sympathy from other people, or they enjoy the energy of anger or something like that. Or maybe it's that there's a lesson they need to learn in this lifetime, but if they're unwilling to do their karmic work to learn the lesson, there's nothing you can do about that as a healer. What you're doing as a healer is you're trying to set the stage for healing. You're trying to create an energetic environment that will stimulate healing, but ultimately the person's body, their body, mind, and spirit has to choose healing. And it has to be something that's in alignment with what's going on for them. And there may be at some level choice involved.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's all about,
yeah,
I mean, that's a lot of good information about the person receiving the healing,
right.
but there's also a lot of nuances about the healer.
Oh, let's hear about
Kind of
that.
like
Yeah, that's
heal the
great.
healer. Like,
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
healer, are you in the right space of mind at that moment that you're sending the healing?
Hmm.
um are you distracted? Are you hungry? Are you tired? Or, you know, like where is your motive? And do you have a block to sending the healing? So there's a lot about, you know,
Or do you
it's
have a block to being successful?
exactly, that's a huge one.
Yeah,
So it's
like,
all about the healer as well. And do you need to go deep and go inside and do some shadow work on yourself before you can be of help to anybody else?
exactly. That's really a great point there.
Mhm.
Because like at this point, like I've done this enough, Robin, you've done this enough, and we've seen enough people doing this that this is some potent magic here. This is some potent healing
Yeah, it
technique.
is.
And it's not the technique if you're not getting results. It's something going on. It's either you have a block, or you don't believe you could do it, or for some reason you're benefiting from not being successful. So you have to look like, do I benefit in any way? Do I get sympathy? Do I have some doubt? Am I self-doubting? Or the situations you're trying to heal are extremely challenging and they require a lot of work and it's going to take time to see a result.
Mhm.
Or it could be like that the person's karma is involved with this, that they have to choose to heal at some level, either consciously or subconsciously. And that's kind of out of your control. Like you can give healing, but like, you know, it's like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Right.
So like there are a lot of factors going on here, and you have to both bring it home to yourself, and you have to also think about what, like, the situations you're getting involved with and the people that you're working with. And the key thing is trusting yourself, surrendering, letting it go. And you know, if you feel called to do this work, and you're not seeing results, then just stick with it. But like I really believe that the method does work at some level. It definitely works.
Yeah, it
um,
definitely does. And
so
don't give up.
don't give up. Right.
If you're a beginner, keep doing it. It's not
Right.
that complicated, so don't worry about that. It's just
Right.
these are just some tips on why it may not work, but just do it. If when we went to the expo, just that simple heal whatever needs to be healed, just that one command. If that's all you can get done, then just do that.
Right. Right.
Don't doubt yourself. Keep at it, keep trying, be confident, and this is a good system. It does work, and it'll work out in the end. It really will.
Yeah, totally. I had a couple other thoughts when you were saying that. I was like, my mind was going like, I was listening though, because I thought it's like perfect what you just said. Another thought is try it on some really easy stuff. Like, like when I go to the post office, I harmonize the relationships of everyone there, and I send love to all the workers, and the line goes faster. If I'm stuck in a traffic jam, I say, okay, send love to the front of the traffic jam, and the traffic will start moving. Or help me find a parking spot. I find a parking spot every time. So try to, like, before you start working with a terminally ill patient and say, oh, I'm not getting a result, try it on something easy that you
Yeah,
can easily get a result and you can see instantly that it's working.
right.
Like, hey, this is like instant karma. Like, here it goes. This is happening. Like I've done that harmonizing relationship thing. Like once I went to this gas station to get my car repaired, or no, to get the emissions test done. They were so mean when I first got there. They were just total jerks. Like, so immediately I did the harmonized relationships, send love. When I came back to get my car, it was like they were my best friends. They were just like, hey, it's so good to see you. Like, oh my God, let me give you a hug. It was like,
Give us a
it was
hug.
so over the top and ridiculous. But when I first got there, just like, what do you want? You jerk. I don't want to work in your car. Man, maybe I'll get to it today. Like,
Yeah,
I hate you, it's like, it was like, whoa. And then by the time I came back, they were practically inviting me over to their house for dinner. It was like so ridiculous. Like,
yeah, that's funny.
yeah. So use it on some easy stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to talk about a really cool scientific study that came out, two of them that are related to this. And it's like, there were these studies done on tea and chocolate by this awesome scientist named Gene Radin. And what happened was he had Buddhist monks bless tea and chocolate. And people got to eat the tea or the chocolate, and they weren't told if it was blessed or not. And the experiments were like triple blind, so that no one doing the experiment knew like which tea or which chocolate had been blessed, which ones hadn't. It was completely randomized and double blinded and all this stuff. So it was, nobody knew what was what. And what they found was that regardless of whether or not you believed it would work, the blessed tea and the blessed chocolate elevated people's moods more than the unblessed tea or chocolate. But here was the thing. If you believed that the blessed tea or the blessed chocolate was better, then you got a better result. You got a better response from it. So, depending on like what you believed, you got a better outcome. But even if you didn't believe it, it still had an effect. Yeah, so we want to really encourage you to have fun with this and to like not take it too seriously, because like if you get really heavy about it not working, and like, oh, you get really heavy about not seeing results, it's going to lower your consciousness level. You're going to go into doubt, insecurity, maybe anger, frustration, and that's going to make it harder for you to have the success that you want to have.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to make it fun, to play with it. Consider it like play almost. Like, when kids learn, they learn by playing. And same as an adult. Don't give yourself like the master exam when you're first beginning. Do the easy stuff first and just have some fun with it, play with it, and try it out, and then do little experiments. Like try something out and see what effect does it have.
I know. I'm actually sending blue green. My latest experiment is trying to get my dog to stop barking. So every time the dog
Nice.
starts growling, I send it blue green and see if there's any
Yeah.
but just fun things.
Yeah, and just take it lightly and have fun. And yeah, we encourage you just to practice. Like, and just don't get discouraged if you don't feel it's working. Don't give up. just look and see, did anything we say in this video strike a note? Did it resonate? Is there any way you can shift what you're doing? Take it lightly, and just at the end of the day, have faith, like I said, that whenever you're called to help somebody, whether or not you see a result, you have helped that person. Trust that you are called for some reason. You are playing some role in that situation, that person's life, and there's no such thing as a wasted healing effort.
Right.
Yeah, so
If you have an inspired action, like you're watching the news and you see something happening, just send them love, send
right,
them energy to get through it.
right.
You're inspired by the beauty that you're looking out your window, send love or energy or blue green to the earth or whatever is just inspiring you at that moment. Take that opportunity as a sign from the universe to just use the skills that you're learning now with your pendulum. Don't think about it, don't analyze it, just let it flow for the good of all. Just practice. I just so encourage you to take the opportunity every day to really use the practice, even in the smallest way. Don't doubt yourself. This will work. You're definitely good enough.
That's awesome. I couldn't have said it better than that. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching this video, and we will see you around. Bye.
Bye.